I was just bad-mouthing you. How are you?
Well, what's new?
I know. Welcome to podcast 32. You,
Yes,
you look somewhere exotic. Where are you?
I am in the Coho Cafe in Schroeder, or am I in Tofty? I'm in Tofty.
Nice.
Mhm.
So,
The Lake Superior is over there.
the Lake Superior, three
The
words.
lake. I was gonna say the lake, but
The
not
Lake.
everybody knows what that means.
We're recording podcast 32.
Yeah,
Um, Dominic did something kind of interesting this weekend. He participated in a keg throwing contest.
I know. I saw it.
Okay, so Dominic, give us the report. Any
Uh,
injuries?
no injuries, luckily. I didn't throw out my back. There's a pretty good debate about how to throw the keg to get it to go the farthest. My style did not end up being the winning style, although I thought I did a pretty good job. But yeah, if you go over the head from like this with the keg, that seemed to be the winning style. But the guy who won also runs the gym in town, so I feel like he had a little bit of an I
unfair
know,
advantage.
but it's also an empty keg.
Well, you don't know that. Yeah.
Well, when I was in a keg throwing competition, it was empty.
Yeah, no, a full one would be basically impossible to throw. It's
in
still,
college in college we had a keg rolling competition. We had a rolling keg race.
gosh, you don't have to make fun of Dominic for throwing a keg.
I
I need to get back in the gym. Yeah, and he froze. Are you there?
Coffee house Wi-Fi.
Well, we lost him. He's like a frozen coho salmon just sitting on the side of the lake. All right, so Dominic, as we wait for Mike to unfreeze, how's biz? I do have a topic, but I figure I'll wait to see if he unfreezes.
Yeah, no, it's good. Had a closing last week on one of my properties up at Pathfinder Village, so that was good. Working on a new listing down. Well, I won't say where exactly, but a townhome that might be coming up soon. So if anyone's looking for a townhome just north of the cities, that'll be coming online here in the next week or two, hopefully. And then I was up in Grand Rapids last week doing some other business, working on a possible buy that would bring a sale to market. So things have been kind of, I don't know, I've been pleasantly surprised with the activity as we head into the fall here. I don't know, how do you feel on your business, but things seem to be kind of holding up still.
Yeah, I still think there's business out there. I think there's a lot of interesting maneuvers that people are making. I think still seeing some overpricing, still seeing some really low offers, still seeing a lot of patient buyers, which I think is good. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So, okay. By the way, I'm impressed that you threw a keg,
Well, thank you.
unlike Mike.
Made for good social media content, if anything.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, he's coming back on. Okay,
Okay.
so
Take
now
take
you're
two.
now you're eating.
No,
No, all right. All right, you ready for my topic?
I am. I had to, dang it, my phone connected. All
Need a
right.
producer for this show. No
Yes, I
kidding.
am. My phone kicked me off, so I'm robbing Bluefin Bay's Wi-Fi right now.
All right. Um, so last week we talked about Zillow, we talked about the lawsuit, we talked about Compass and their acquisition. Um, I spent a lot of time on this last week. I don't know why, but just the way my brain works. Mike, you and I talked about it on Friday or Sat or Thursday, whatever day, and you were like, "Oh, you just think of it in a different level." Here's my takeaway. You know what's really shocking during all this? Let's just say the last 10 days.
What?
NAR. NAR has not made any statements. NAR is nowhere to be found. No- and I'm not saying NAR needs to be involved with the Zillow lawsuit or NAR needs to make a comment about Compass. But I think it's very interesting. I think how we got here is because of NAR. I think NAR's failure to have a unified umbrella, NAR's failure to sense a lawsuit, to want to make any type of statements. You have multiple big brands that want to do things different on the way that listings are done, what a seller can, should, might want to do. And I think when you have no parent in the room, you have a lot of people stand up. I think when there's no voice from the top, you have voices from below. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. There's some really smart people. But I think to me, if this deal goes through in September of 26, NAR's done. I don't see how NAR can come back from this. Because Zillow says the listings have to go this way. Compass and EXP want things to go in different ways. Sometimes they're with it, sometimes they're not. I just think this is a classic example of NAR not being anywhere. They're not on, Minnesota just had their convention, Unite.
Mhm.
NAR wasn't there. There's been some other big conventions that have gone on in the last six,
NAR was there.
not as a guest speaker, not of anyone. They were there trying to get you to stay in your membership, I bet.
I think if I remember correctly, NAR was there on a very small scale. It was the very last day. And it was kind of like a Minnesota real estate president, like a Minnesota Real Estate Association president interviewing the NAR person, but the NAR person didn't stand up and give a presentation. And I think that the NAR person should have stood up and given a presentation.
As much as they control our industry or want to control our industry, I have no idea what their plan is for the next 6, 12 months. I don't know what their long-term goal is, 3 year, 5 year. I know there's been two or three cases that have come about that their input was, and now we are stuck here in Minnesota where we have northern MLSs doing things different than southern MLSs.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually in the Northern MLS right now, and I was driving down the Kramer Road last night, and I saw several properties for sale that I was able to find on RPR because, of course, I pulled it up because I was curious about the pricing and everything. And it's Lake Superior Association of Realtors, LSAR. And I thought to myself, that's a pretty small amount of people that this $800,000 property overlooking Lake Superior is marketing to, because it didn't give me any indication that they were marketing anywhere to the south in the metro and in Matrix. But I mean, I just don't have anything to say about NAR because I don't even know how to talk about it. I just know that for me personally, we do not need to be a member of NAR anymore to join our MLS. Mine is MAR, Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors, and have access to MLS. It used to be required. You had to be part of NAR. Now it does not. And I've chosen to stay a member of NAR because I want to have myself under the code of ethics. Because if you don't belong to NAR, you no longer technically have to follow the realtor code of ethics. And I find that very problematic.
So could, so Dominic and I are under Think Minnesota.
Mhm.
Obviously, with myself being the owner and the broker, could I just do, hey, Dominic, you don't want to be part of NAR? Okay, but we're going to have a code of ethics. I don't get to use the realtor name or Dominic won't because it's a registered thing to NAR. But
Yeah, and you're no
but
longer a realtor, you're an agent.
right, but why couldn't Sotheby's come up with some type of code of ethics agreement as part of your I mean, at the end of the day, the code of ethics, I think, has more to do with the individual than the hierarchy. I
I don't know.
think. You don't know?
I just remember when I was in medical device sales and we had a code of ethics in the medical surgical world. And I remember we had to go through training and we had to pass tests to prove that we understood the ethical code in interacting with hospitals and most specifically surgeons. Our chief legal officer at the time at St. Jude Medical Cardiac Surgery told us that a lot of times, most of the time, codes of ethics, God, I'm so sick of flies. Codes of ethics are typically based on legal codes. And if you are breaking the code of ethics, you could very well be violating the law. So ever since I heard that as a young corporate salesperson, I'm thinking, you know what? These code of ethics and the National Association of Realtors could be very well based on legal code. And I'm going to follow these code of ethics because I don't want to break an ethical code because it could be very well violating a law. I'm not in the leadership of Sotheby's. I don't know what they're thinking. And you know what? Maybe, but I can say that we as a brokerage, um, we are instructed to belong to the National Association of Realtors, and I don't have a problem with that. Uh,
Instructed, or was that the word you use?
I did.
Instructed means you have to.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say that. The Sotheby's agents are part of the National Association of Realtors because we will be under the code of ethics, period.
So
I
I
would
don't
argue, though,
know.
that you don't need a centralized organization to tell you to act ethically or legally. That a free market would decide that any agent acting in a fraudulent manner is going to get found out either legally or through non-referrals or people talking to each other. I don't know. I don't need NAR to tell me that I can't act ethically. I wouldn't act unethically anyway.
Yeah.
But to force someone to subscribe to that organization who's then on top of that not doing anything from a leadership perspective to kind of help the industry along, I think at the end of the day, what benefit are they adding to the consumer? And I feel like that's a hard question to answer. If you asked any consumer on the street, they probably wouldn't even know what NAR is or what value they bring on top of that. Just my opinion, but I just feel like there's a little bit of vague
But, but
opacity
I
there
do
where
think,
people
but
can't.
I do think when you explain to a consumer that because you belong to the National Association of Realtors, these are the code of ethics you are expected to follow, and you do, and these are the fiduciary responsibilities that I have to you. I think it's important to just point it out. The number one broken rule in the code of ethics, if you go into an ethics hearing, is basic honesty to the other side. It's crazy. Article 1. But we're all
Yeah,
coming up. We're all, I mean, every other year we have to go through the ethics training through NAR. And I think this is my year that I have to go through the ethics training and get certified and get those CEs. It's to keep my license. Um, I mean, what's going to happen with people that don't belong to NAR? I mean, while you were under NAR's, umbrella, you had to do that every 2 years. And if you refused to do it, you did not have an active license any longer.
yeah. I think it would be an interesting case study to see if individuals who were members of NAR and those who weren't, if there was a significant divergence in terms of the sustainability of their business or the profitability of their business.
I mean, it's pretty basic. If I don't do my code of ethics this year by December 15th, my license goes away. So, I mean, I'm going to do my code of ethics training. Hate flies. There's a lot of flies up here.
yeah. All right. What else are you guys? I mean,
How about if we get into the nuts and bolts of real estate for a second? I have something really funny to share with you. I got this feedback on a showing that was over the weekend, and I was just like, I'm sorry. And if this agent is listening, I don't care. It's like The stupidity of people is absolutely unfreaking believable. So now,
So much for a code of ethics.
well, I didn't name the person by name, but listen to this. This is okay. So we have a townhouse in a major metropolitan area suburb that has all brand new roofing because of the hailstorms from not a while ago. Brand new furnace, a brand new water heater, a brand new AC, and all brand new kitchen appliances in the kitchen. And we are at an entry level price point in this massive metropolitan area suburb. And the feedback that came in was no, they're not interested. The houses were too close together.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, wow. Did you not know that it was a fucking townhouse? Did you just bleep me from that, David?
no, I don't know how to bleep.
Excuse me, but did you not understand that it was a fucking townhouse complex? I'm doubling down. It's
Sounds
like, who is the dumb one? The agent or the buyer? Like, don't go look at town. I've never known a townhouse to have spacious areas unless you want to spend $1 million on a townhouse and then it's a detached townhouse on a golf course. We have those in our suburb too, but what in the hell? This is the kind of stuff that just makes me go, huh? Pull your finger out of your nose, realtor and buyer, and what the hell? What the fuck?
no, we
That's
years
ridiculous.
ago I had a list.
That's a turkey. That's a three F bomber.
Years ago we had a listing on the North Shore,
Sorry,
and
Dominic, I swear.
I
this
swear
was
to you.
before COVID. This is during the time where North Shore properties weren't moving super fast.
Oh God.
And we finally had a showing. Sellers were so happy. They went up, they plowed. It was winter. They plowed. They went up, they cleaned. They were so ecstatic about getting an off or a show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The buyer agent was someone very well known on the North Shore, and the feedback was, we didn't realize that this wasn't on Superior. Well, what's funny about this is if you are on Highway 61, East Highway 61 that goes on the North Shore,
If you're on the south side,
if you are even address, if you are on the lakeside. If you have an odd address, you are on the non-lake side.
but if you click the map
You should
tab,
have known just if somebody calls me up and says, I want to look at 1, 2, 3, 4
yeah,
Highway 61 Luton. Great. 99.9% chance that it's lakeside.
yeah, but guess what? This agent wouldn't have known that because that's not my market. But if I'm looking for a
But hear me out. My
lakeside
point being
property,
is your example was somebody showed a townhouse. They would have asked to see it. They would have done, they should have known what they were showing. My comment was, in my example, it was someone very well known on the North Shore, who, by the way, I competed against
they should know
for
better.
they should know better.
No, that's not on the lake, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer
Yes.
or buyers.
Or
No,
agent.
it's not on the lake. It's
Yeah.
not on the lake.
Yeah. So, anyways, I agree with you on that. So, what was
It's
your
cr
feedback? Did you
me.
comment to that agent at all or no?
I'm probably, well, I have to, after this podcast, I'm gonna head back to the cities. I'm probably gonna call the agent myself and say, why did you even go there? Because you said it was too tight. Oh, and it was too close to a busy street. No, it's not too close. It's so far away. You can hear it, but you know what? When you are in these metropolitan areas, I live in Woodbury. I can hear planes taking off on the Minneapolis International Airport at times. If those jet engines are and they're heading off on the western side, it's like that's really far away. I could get feedback. Oh, we could hear the airport. Yeah, well, it's the freaking city. if you're, it's insane. I'm probably going to call her and say, why did you, you know, cause my seller to clean and evict and leave to show a townhouse for you to say that the houses were too close together? Like, think about that. But I'm not going to because that's just not my style.
So you're gonna make fun of Melissa on the podcast then?
It's not Melissa.
I just picked it. All I know is it was a she, you said. So I was just randomly picking a name to see if I could rile you up.
It's not Melissa.
Stacy.
No. Hey, Dominic,
Yes, sir.
take us out of the muck, please. Bring us somewhere pleasant.
Dominic's been
Uh,
working on a HUD purchase maybe and been going through submitting the HUD document.
Really?
gosh,
Man, I haven't
what a
heard that
process.
word in a long time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. My personal opinions aside, I feel like I don't understand how the process is helpful to buyers. There's not a lot of information, especially when there's things that are disclosed that are potentially wrong with the house, but no additional detail. And then you're limited on what you can or cannot inspect if there's already known issues with certain aspects of the home. So my buyer in particular feels a little bit blind going into it. Made an initial bid, the bid was not accepted, and now we're kind of wondering what to do next. Try to get more information, but that's not likely to come. Do we lower our bid? So it's been kind of
Well, that's
a
not actually what happened.
Is this one of these places where they don't turn on the water and they don't turn on the heat and you just have to go with it and see
yeah.
if it, well, you
Well,
can, if
not
the
all HUD
water's,
homes are that way. In Dominic's case, it is.
Yeah, there's a known plumbing issue, but we don't know exactly the extent of what the pressure test failed, but we don't know where. Was it the in-floor heat? Was it the water lines? Was it the hose? We have no idea.
so this is basically buy at your own risk house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, buyer wanted it. Dominic worked, submitted the license. What was really interesting was Dominic got an email back saying, if you want to counter, this is what the net has to be. And Dominic was able to see the net for both
Uh-huh.
sides of the deal.
Uh-huh.
Dominic then could go back to his client and say, this is in theory, according to the email, what we're short, which we don't usually get. So Dominic's people could have matched it dollar for dollar, could have gone over a dollar more, whatever. They chose not to do anything at the moment. And then he got an email today after saying that their offer was originally rejected, that it was accepted.
Oh, because yeah, but you know what? The other question is I don't know who these buyers are, but if these buyers are looking at that property for quote unquote financial reasons or cash issues or whatever, it's like, do they really want to get that property not knowing what they're getting involved with? Because they might not even be able to deal with it.
That was his point.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think they either want more information or the ability to test properly, or they're going to walk away. So luckily they're not in a position where they feel like they have to buy it, or it's not a necessary move. This would be a luxury move, and in this case, it might not ultimately be worth it. But
Wow.
That was his
yeah,
point, being that he wishes he could get more information.
Yeah. Well, absolutely.
All right.
So, hey, I can tell you a really fun story that we went out into the woods yesterday and found the first time I was ever at the Manitou River, and we went to something William Crosby State Park off of Highway 7, kind of by Finlandson. And it was like one of the wildest state parks in the state. And we found and it was a really great hike. And my son caught 5 keeper brook trout yesterday, but he threw them back because he was catching and releasing. But it was just an awesome day down there. And when we were hiking out, we heard a bull moose grunting at us. And I'm like, is it grunting at us because it's in the rut, or is it grunting at us because we're getting too close and it wants us the heck out of its area? And you don't want to come in contact with any moose in the woods, right, guys? And then last night when we went on our animal drive, we saw a big bull moose, big rack cruising around on the Ritchie Lake Road, and it went into the woods, and we could see its rack moving. That was that was my nature encounter.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's supposed to calm you down, but I'm already ramped up, and I'm not even out of the woods. What's wrong with me?
It's exciting to see that.
No, but I'm already ramped up with work, and I'm at the Coho Cafe, and I'm pissed off.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. That'll be the motto for the day. Mike is pissed. Podcast 32. All right.
Come
Well, drive
on.
safe. Don't hit a moose on the way back.
Are you guys gonna hang up?
I got stuff to do, man.
Dominic, you're a
Hey,
good keg tosser.
You made fun of his keg throwing.
No, I did not. And your kid was like all just digging the fact that dad was
I
whipping
saved my
it.
best throw for when the kids are there so I could try to impress them.
They were so happy watching dad whip a keg.
Speaking
I
of
know.
kids, we're on baby watch officially.
Oh,
We're about less than 10 days away from due date. So if I'm not on the
all right.
podcast next week, you know why.
Can't you do it
Well,
remotely
yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
I'll try to do from
There's no
um
there's no excuses.
can I give you a suggestion of what not to do?
Sure.
I think you should not walk around in front of your wife holding your back and go, "Oh, you wouldn't know what I've been through." Just totally play up the physicalness that you
Can I give
can't
you
get the
another
kid.
suggestion on what to do?
Sure.
Except you already know this, because how many kids do you have already?
I've got two.
I remember when we were getting trained for the whole baby birthing and all that, and they're teaching the dads to understand how the contractions go and when they're going to be done and when they're going to come. The nurse looked at us all and she goes, "Now, dads, listen to me. Don't you dare tell your wives that a contraction is about to hit. She knows. You tell her when that thing is going to be done. That's your job. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut."
That's
I
right.
forgot, Dominic, boy or girl, or have you not announced?
We are having a girl.
Girl, all right.
Woo!
Yeah. So I
Oh,
have an embarrassing story about myself from my first when my first son was born. I'll share maybe on the next podcast.
All
did you
right.
pass that?
Do you
Did you
know
pass?
that we're not going to ask you to release it here, but do you have the name done?
We do. Yep. Well,
Okay.
middle name is still a little TBD, but we've got the first locked in at least for right now.
Did you pass out?
Almost. Yeah.
Okay.
I think or Minnesota can be part of it. We'll kind of waive your any
You,
branding or anything. We won't charge you.
you can't name the
Okay.
baby Michael, but you can name it Michelle.
Michelle.
How about Coho pissed off day with Mike?
I
Whatever.
No?
think those flow really well.
Yeah,
I might have to go
exactly.
back talk to my wife. Yeah.
All right. Good luck. All right. Keep us posted, Dominic. Good luck.
See
All
you
right.
guys.
Bye.